Yes.
Hey everybody, welcome to Backyard Blue. Two brothers talking sports and whatever else comes our way. I am brother number one in the Backyard Blue duo. Brother number one, that's me by birth order anyway. Blake Miller, Mr. Miller, my students call me. Moose, for some reason my mom gave me that nickname. Brother number two, he's on the other side of the screen. Brother from the same mother, Hunter Borland. Hunter, Hunt Daddy, the head hunter. My daughter calls him Hump. I think we should call him that. What's up, Hump? How's it going?
Oh, nothing much. Just opening night of basketball,
It's pretty
NBA
fun, right?
basketball, anyways.
It's true.
Yeah, two bad games so far, but hey, NBA basketball's back.
It's worth putting a holiday hat on for. Important question:
Absolutely.
did you kill any ducks?
We the limit's 12 for two guys shooting, and we killed 12. It took till noon. We started off a little rough. Easton was crying with about 100 birds around us to start the morning,
Sounds like
screaming.
me.
But after he took a nap in the blind and got some food in him, we cooked eggs and whatnot in the blind, and we were good to go. So
That's the best
12
part, eating
ducks.
the food.
Hey, and we ate duck the night for dinner, and they loved it. So
That's awesome. All right, so we've been talking about this for a long time. I think I started going to school to be in sports media. I don't know if this even counts for that, but this has always been kind of a dream of ours. And I remember, I guess it was a couple summers ago. I remember, like, we're trying to come up with a name. And so I started kind of get like, okay, this is like a real idea. We might actually do this at some point.
yeah.
And I think I ran 20 names by you, sent them in a text. And the first one that you were like, yes, let's do that one was Backyard Blue. Any idea why that like resonated with you and why you wanted to do that?
Well, obviously from Memphis, everybody is blue. We went to Bolton; they had blue. Tigers blue, Grizzlies blue, and then we kind of grew up just playing football and basketball and baseball, whatever else in the backyard. I hunted in the backyard, so it kind of just fit. It worked out better than we could have gone with Blake and Hunter's show or something like that, but
Hey,
trying to be unique, so it was cool.
yeah, I liked it too, and it was one of the things like I knew when I typed it that it worked, and I even shared the same thing with Anna, and she's like, "Yep, that's the one right there." Didn't even
Yeah.
have to explain it; it was somehow like just inexplicable but self-explanatory too. That was kind of cool. So we mentioned our teams are the Tigers, the Grizz. That's part of the Backyard Blue name. So we'll talk about those. First off, Penny got an extension yesterday through 2026. What do you think of the of that extension?
Um, I love Penny. I love that he's brought the excitement back to Tiger basketball. Number one recruiting class last year, good recruiting class this year. Brought in Nolly, um, but when COVID's going on, you got a $12 million loan that you just pulled out from the bank the day before it. It's a little suspicious or iffy. It's just I don't know. This year hadn't gone the way it's gone, but the excitement is back, and I want Penny to be around. And hey, Calipari didn't win till his 6th year either, so
It's true.
we got to give him time and get it rolling.
I was nervous about it. I thought it was kind of weird timing because I know he signed like a short term deal the first in, right? It was like a 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah,
Um, so it was a short. So I guess he had to be extended if they're going to keep him around. And he hadn't done enough to be gone. But I wondered,
no,
like, hey, to get that extension is kind of, especially given the season. But you're right when you mentioned like COVID troubles. Like that's not just financially, but I mean to the program, but to the university. But like it's just you never know who you're going to have each night. I know they hadn't had any big positive cases other than Ahmad Rand, but I mean, really, it's still a tough season to manage. You're managing that just as much as you are the players. It's not an easy job, but I was a little surprised that he was in the 2026. But anyway,
well, it's 12 million dollars over 5 years,
it's cheap.
and yeah, in college basketball, you get your top coaches are making $5-6 million a year, and any Power Five coach is making 3 to 4. So
Yep.
you got them on a deal. It's University of Memphis friendly, so um, right now with everything going on, it's not a bad deal. He's not making a bunch of money compared to other coaches. It's just when you get an extension, you come out and blow a lead to Tulsa and lose. It's an ugly loss,
Man,
and everybody starts
I did have
questioning it. So
Tulsa plus 9.5 though, so that was.
yeah,
I wanted Memphis to win, but just by
fade
and
Memphis. Have they covered yet this year?
it
St.
works.
Mary's first
It's
game.
It's so yeah. I think they covered one of the bye games they had too. Maybe like was it Jackson State maybe? And I think
Yeah,
that's all
one
they
of them.
covered. That's all they covered. I jumped on the Tulane live money line live. I'm not money line, but the spread live, and it's just been a good strategy. Kind of like your fade Tennessee in football.
I know.
It's
I'm
been
mad
a
they're
good
not playing in the
strategy
Liberty
most
Bowl. I could.
weeks. You
They're
know,
playing the
I
Liberty Bowl. Fade.
the thing with Penny, man, is and just one more quick thing on him. I know that people always say coaches are hired to be fired, and I just don't want to see him ever become the villain in the town. So I hope that if it does go bad that he steps away. I think he'll turn it around. I think he'll pick things up. And you're right, fans are excited. I think ultimately, like when you look at this from just a dollars and cents perspective, which is probably what Memphis should do. We probably can't fancy ourselves a elite program at this point, but he's made the program a good amount of money, whereas Tubby was losing it, but quickly.
And he's going to stay in the top 2 or 3 of the conference. And it's
Yeah,
it's not a great conference, but it's probably the 6th or 7th best conference out there. Keep pace with Houston. Wichita State's going to be down. Your UConn's out now. You don't have to worry about them. So as long as you stay in the top 2 or 3 of the conference, they're probably going to make the tournament year in and year out. As long as he's in that top 2 or 3. And if they're making the tournament, we're good until do the Pastner. Hey, we went to the tournament 5 years in a row with Pastner.
yeah,
We know
yep.
that
And we
that's
want to
not
fire him.
okay, but we at least got to get there and then maybe make a Sweet 16 run, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. So to our other team, the Grizzlies. We all love Ja. We're all ready to watch him become a superstar right in front of our
He's
eyes.
been
I still
awesome.
can't. Oh man, he's been ridiculous.
The
Um,
preseason, he's been awesome.
yes, he has. I hate not being able to get Fox Sports Southeast and I'm just having to watch replays and highlights and stuff. And it's but he's looked awesome and it seems like he's taken another gear. So we're excited about him. What is your other guy on the Grizz? Your next most exciting guy to watch this season?
It's always you can go with the rookies because it's always fun. You haven't seen them play, but I'm going to kind of go with the one that's the standout that we took a big gamble on last year is Justice Winslow. Uh, they traded for him. We took on the Dion Waiters contract, cut him. It was the big move. That was our free agent for this year, and
Yeah,
we're relying on him if we want to make the next step this year and next year for him to be healthy and playing good. He'll take a lot of pressure off Ja. He's a ball handler, can pass the ball. That'll let Ja roam a little bit, but he can also rebound. And Jaren has his struggles there. We need him to be good and be healthy if we're going to
yeah.
be a playoff contender, not a contender for a title. That's a few years down the road, I believe. But if Winslow is good, if Winslow's healthy, that takes a lot of pressure off Dylan
Oh yeah.
Brooks, Grayson Allen, all these other guys, and I think we can be a contend for that 8-9 seed this year.
Yeah.
If not, I'm worried about the younger guys and where we're going to be at the end of the year.
I'm with you. And one thing you mentioned was Winslow's rebounding. We haven't had a great rebounding wing since Tony was on the team, and he always kind of
Yeah.
helped cover for Mark's weakness there. We know Jonas can rebound, but Jaren's got to be able to do it too. But if he doesn't, it helps having Justice there, to hit the boards. Um, so mine is I'm going to go with the rookies, the basic answer. I'm gonna go with Desmond Bain, and it's not because I used to have a 7 foot Bain cardboard stand up right over there in the corner. It's because he's awesome. I love a guy who knows his role.
Yeah.
Not Dylan Brooks. Um, I like that he knows his role. I was looking at his college stats, and I noticed something. His field goal attempts increased every season, and his junior season, he averaged 11.6 shot attempts a game. Out of those 11.6, 4.3 were threes. Okay. The next season, he averages 13. Well, 2.9 of those are threes. He averages less 2 point attempts in the senior season than he did his third year, and more threes in his senior season. And I feel like that is a guy who can adapt to whatever he needs to do. Just shows that he's aware that he can change some things. I like a guy who's flexible, versatile, and can play within himself. On a team
Yeah.
that's got Ja and Jaren, and Brandon Clark and other mouths to feed, we need a guy who can hit a three when it's
Yeah.
necessary, play some good defense. We don't need, and this is probably going to become a more Dylan Brooks rant than it is a pro Desmond Bain thing. I am excited about Desmond Bain. You've heard me say plenty of nice
Yep.
things about Dylan Brooks, but I was looking at something. I looked at the bubble stats on StatMuse, and I just typed in Grizzlies points per game leaders, and uh, from the bubble, and in the bubble, Ja took 18 shots a game. Jaren took 17. We only played 3 games, but Dylan took 18. So and
Yep.
Dylan was taking the same amount of shots as Ja and Jaren. I'm not okay with that. He does
No.
not need to be a primary mouth to feed. I'm with you, and you've said repeatedly is bring him off the bench and let him be the heater off the bench, irrational confidence guy.
Let him be a Lou Williams type.
Yeah,
He's not going to be that type of scorer, but let
no,
him be the guy that you can get 12 or 14 off the bench every night.
I'm hoping that they can find a good role for him. It's not being a score first guy alongside John Jaren.
Yeah.
I think there is a different role for him on this team. It may be just as he finds that role in a different team. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about Desmond Bain. I love a guy who can be within his role. He's going to be a great complement to Ja. I was tempted to say Grayson Allen too after the.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I will go back to Bain real quick before you get on Grayson. Just watching some of his highlights and stuff from TCU, and he played with Jalen Fisher, who we know real well at TCU. I think his freshman and sophomore year.
Mhm.
But the thing I was impressed, and this is not a comparison because you know how much I hate the NBA comparison to college
Oh
players
yeah,
coming out. It's always
yeah.
outrageous.
Mo
Uh,
Bamba is Kevin
yeah,
Garnett and
Mo
Anthony
Bum,
Davis.
yeah, combined. He's a Space Jam Monstar.
Yes, basically best player ever.
So
But he
stupid.
can't start for
Uh,
Orlando.
yeah, he can't even sniff a minute
No,
during a game.
no.
It's in the preseason he can't get in the game. But Klay Thompson, what makes him unbelievable is he can move. The way he moves off the ball, comes off a screen. He never has to dribble. And watching the TCU highlights, Bain comes off screens, comes off down screens, flares, uh, and is always ready to shoot. His feet are always in the same position, ready to go. And I think that's what we need with a Ja, and even with the Justice, and with Jaren, if he can develop a low post game. I know he's
Yeah,
drifted to the three, but just somebody you can kick out to and can just pull and
yeah.
has a green light. And if he gets hot, man, he could hit 7, 8 threes in a game. And we haven't had that. I don't even know when we've had that.
Mike
Maybe
Miller,
James
maybe.
Posey or somebody back in the pyramid days, but it's been a long time.
Yep.
And so I'm excited. I think he's somebody that we'll have around for a long time. He'll get playing time. He hustles. So I'm excited for Bain. And we got a lot of young wings that get a chance to prove themselves. DeAnthony Melton, Grayson Allen. So it's going to be a fun year.
I thought game was beginning. No, it's worth a shot. Uh, but yeah, I'm also excited about any potential stadium giveaway items they can do, Bane related. Maybe a licensing issue, but still could be really fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, just on the season, you mentioned earlier you were thinking like 8, 9 seed for the Grizzlies. Is that kind of your expectation for the team this season?
So I wrote down, I thought their total would be between 30 and 32 wins this year. The West is so stacked, and it's nothing against them. I think we're going to be good. We're going to be in a lot of games. It's not going to be like 3 years ago where we're just getting demolished
Yeah,
every game we come out. I think we'll be good. So I put the over because I want them to be good, and I think that win total's correct. I know you had a little bit different opinion. You think they're going to be right there in the playoff. Not that I don't think they can be. If Ja makes the Luka jump from year one to year two, uh, I think that we could be in the playoff picture. But that's asking a lot on a 21-year-old to
yeah,
come out and average 24, 25 points a game, 10 assists. I mean, I wanted it to happen, but usually you go back and look at Derrick Rose, John Wall, they make the big jump from year two to year three.
yeah.
So
That's a good point. I think it's going to be like sniffing the playoffs type thing, and I think they'll be. I had them, in that play-in area. I think they'll be fighting for the 8, 9, 10 range. Wouldn't surprise me if it was 11th or 12th. I think they'll be competitive, and I think that's really what I'm looking for. This can be a good season with that, and finish 15th in the West, like because it's all about just development for our younger guys.
Minnesota's in the West. I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah,
And
14.
Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah, and Sacramento too. Like I just if we finish better than the Kings, I'm good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much
I think we'll be right there at that 10.
Yeah.
That 10 seed, which isn't bad. I think the 10 seed could have 32 wins. It's just I think there's going to be a whole lot of people between 35 and 45 wins.
I agree with you. It's going to be a lot. You have your teams, a few teams at the very top, a few teams at the very bottom, and everybody else is in the middle, scrapping it out. I think we're going to be one of those teams scrapping it out.
Absolutely.
Everybody picked us to be last in the league last year. That ain't happening. I think you will see
John's
jump.
too good.
You're right. And he could make that jump this year. And if he does, then it's maybe talking 7, 8 seed instead of somewhere 8 to 10, 11. I'm excited about watching him play and seeing what John does and seeing, how the rest of the team meshes with him. I think one thing that makes me feel good about the team is the chemistry they have. They all seem to like each other. And I know you can only tell so much from social media, but they really do seem to like each other.
They do. They do.
That helps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it helps on the court. They like to pass the ball. I mean, we're used to seeing some guys that we go back to Jeff Green that just stop the ball. Rudy Gay just stops the ball, and not to bang on those guys, but it's just the ball movement wasn't there.
It's fun.
And now I don't want it to be everybody gets a chance. That's not what I want, because I think John and Jaren need to be the ones that take most of the shots whenever Jaren comes back. I mean, that seems like it's getting pushed back more and more as the weeks go on. His return, which worries me with his injuries over the past 3 years. But they like they like to share the ball. And for a young team, they like each other. That makes a difference. It keeps the team tight, keeps the team close. And so I'm really excited. The good thing is we don't have any expectations to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So even if they only win 30 games, but they show promise, it's still a good year.
That's what we're looking for. So, expectations for other teams. We mentioned some over-unders we love. You gave me 3 picks in the notes. You want to elaborate on those 3 picks a little? Because I liked what you were putting down there. I thought they were pretty good picks.
Yeah, so I'll start with my under. I got 1 under and 2 overs. I guess 3 overs if you take the Grizzlies earlier. But and I do have money on them. I did get a FanDuel account. I do have money on it.
It's good.
I was able to get
I'm
verified.
not blocking out anymore. That's good.
DraftKings was by win percentage, and I didn't want to have to do math. So
that's too much. I just want to just take my money, man.
Yeah, exactly. And they're taking it. So my under is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got a lot of guys that are average, that everybody thinks they're good. They're on good contracts. They make a lot of money. Not good contracts, bad contracts to the team. For them, it's good contracts. I think Ryan Saunders gets fired mid-year. I mean, he got the job when Flip kind of passed away, and it was a good story. He took over the interim job, and they were good, but they're not a good basketball team.
Yep.
They're bad. I don't know what you do with Rubio. It just seems like he's there. I don't know if that's a trade piece. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Karl-Anthony Towns had a terrible offseason with I think 6 family members and friends passing away from COVID. They're not a good team, and 29.5 seems like a lot of wins in the West this year. We're talking about the Grizzlies, who have a lot of upside, maybe sniffing 30 to 32 wins, and Minnesota, who number 1 draft pick. I don't think they're that good. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on the Timberwolves or.
I'm right there with you. If I could see them being better, but I mean being better than that. But I still if you made me decide one way or the other, it'd definitely be the under.
D'Angelo Russell just seems like a guy that cares about getting his 20 points a game and
pointing to his arm.
Yeah, and then doing whatever he does. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know if they're building for the future, just trying to get assets and trade away in the next couple of years. But Karl-Anthony Towns got all the talent in the world, but he hasn't proved anything. So I can't trust him to win 30 games.
Yeah, I agree.
So
what's your next one?
Washington Wizards over 33.5. Russell Westbrook's still awesome.
Yes.
He went to Houston and everybody's down on him because of James Harden, I think. He didn't have the ball, and he's a guy that has to have the ball in his hands. And if you go back and look at Paul George playing with Westbrook, His first year, he averaged 22, 6, and 3. And then his second year made a big jump, 28, 8, and 4, but he took 10 threes a game that second year. Bradley Beal is going to shoot 9 to 10 threes a game. If he shoots 40% like he's done his entire career, pretty much except for last year when he was by himself, he's going to average 28 to 30 points a game. I think Bradley Beal could be probably not in an MVP conversation, but just that step below. And they're probably the 7th or 8th seed in the West. And they win, I don't know, somewhere between 37 and 40 games. They were good with John Wall.
I feel comfortable saying over. And I don't think their team is that different now than it was when they had Wall and Beal at their peaks. And honestly, Beal's better than he was. And Westbrook's probably better than Wall was, I think. And he's probably slowed down a little bit, but even still, like he's good. Like he's still Russell Westbrook.
He's still elite.
Yeah.
And Bertans will get a lot of corner threes with Westbrook running the point. He will probably hit 2 to 3 a game. And if you're getting that from your power forward or center, whatever he's going to play, I mean, that's stout.
They're just missing the Polish hammer, Marcin Gortat.
And they got Hachimura, Japanese player.
Like him.
They're expecting a lot from him. So
Thomas Bryant, even though he tried to, I think that's who it was, to try to get in a fight with Blake Griffin the other day. Hold me back.
I think everybody wants to fight Blake Griffin. I'm not sure.
I like your next one too. I like your Jazz one. You tell us about the Jazz.
Yeah, so Jazz over 42.5. Mitchell was a different player in the bubble, and it's going to be interesting to see out of the bubble. There's a couple with Jamal Murray. Obviously, they had that huge playoff series. They were just going back and forth. That was probably the most fun series I've watched. It was awesome. But Mike Conley wasn't healthy last year, and him being from Memphis, we watched him for 12 years where he was just awesome. In those last 3 years, he took on the scoring load. He had the ball in his hands all the time, and he went to a place where he didn't have the ball. It was Mitchell was ball dominant, and he had to learn to play off the ball. And you saw in the bubble when he had that break, and maybe he could go back and look at what he needed to do, he was much better in the bubble. So I think him healthy, learning that system, Mitchell's going to take another step. Bogdanovich is healthy, if I pronounced it right. I apologize if I didn't.
Good try.
He's a 18 to 20 point per game scorer, and he was out at the end of the year. And out in the bubble.
Favors back too.
And Favors is back. And Rudy, I don't like the contract that he just got, but he's still amazing defensively, rim runner. And with Mitchell, Conley, Bogdanovich, all he's got to do is be able to clean up rebounds, put backs, and block shots. And they're going to be a very good team. They could be a 3 seed. They could maybe get ahead of the Lakers because I don't know how much LeBron's going to play this year.
Don't foreshadow too much there.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the Clippers and Lakers kind of know what they are.
You're right. You're foreshadowing one of my playoff picks. That's all. That's okay. Hey, I think it's one of yours too. I'll go with my 3. My first one was the Suns. Is my favorite one. The Suns over 37.5. I know the West is stacked, but 37.5 with a 72 game schedule is 38 and 34. And I think the Thunder team that Paul was on last year, 44 and 28. And I think the supporting cast on this team is better than the supporting cast on that team. Yeah. I just think Chris Paul's a winning player. I have a hard time rooting for him.
Until the playoffs.
Yeah, but even in the playoffs, I mean, you remember those days with the Grizzlies. I mean, fighting like hell against them with the Clippers. I mean, I feel like wherever he goes, he makes them a better team. And I think this will bring out the best in Booker and Ayton and a lot of those other pieces they've got around him. I feel really comfortable 37.5 with that one. And when I look at the Pacers line, I thought it was going to be 38. I mean, I thought it was going to be in the 40s. I was expecting like 42.5, 43.5, something like that. And I was at that point prepared to take the over. So when they put in 38.5, I'm like, dude, really? Like, isn't Oladipo coming back like mostly healthy? DeMontis Sabonis is back. I mean,
let me ask you about the Pacers though. So all the stuff came out in the offseason where Oladipo is like telling teams to trade for him in the middle of the game and stuff like that. We're talking about the Grizzlies. They like each other, and that makes a difference. I hope, because I think Indiana can be really good. Their starting 5 is awesome. Yeah. There's not a bad player on the floor, and they can all shoot. Turner can even extend the floor a little bit now.
Yep.
But the Oladipo thing worried me, and I don't know if that's a trade chip with the way he's acted. I just stayed away. I like that over if he's playing and they're happy and they're moving the ball and they're playing well. But if things go south, does he want out, and does that hurt that over under.
I read some stuff that I was looking up info on Sabonis today to make sure he was like all back and healthy and stuff. And I read him say that he was really impressed with Oladipo in training camp, talking about him buying in, and said he was in the best shape he'd been in, best shape he'd seen him in. And Oladipo came out and said it was overblown, and that's different from the Harden stuff in Houston, where he's coming in late to practice and ticking off his teammates and things like that.
At the strip
I
club.
hope it was an outburst. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he showed up looking like my weight too. He looked like he just hit the buffet. Like he was still finishing Thanksgiving leftovers when he showed up.
I thought they cropped that picture at first, but that was real.
No, that was so real. I thought that was definitely an off-season picture or something like that. I don't know, like a pickup. He looked like a pickup game. Like it was some. He looked like late career Kendrick Perkins.
He looked like me at the Y.
Yeah, yeah. The beard too, man. Just you need to get the dread.
I just got 3 colors.
There you go. Like salt.
But sorry,
salt
the Pacers. Yeah, I don't think Oladipo's that at the Harden level, but it did just worry me.
I get the worry.
Yeah,
I get the worry on that one. And the Pistons, unfortunately, it's really tough to play 5 centers in the NBA. If you maybe
last year.
I know. But theirs was a joke. Like they had Bol, the 2 guard, which is just fun, right? Let's just do that all the time. The Pistons, I think they might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about, I'm like, it's them or Cleveland. Maybe the Knicks. I don't know. The Knicks are at least fun to watch. So I mean, but I think the Pistons are going to be bad and not fun to watch. So
yeah,
I can just have fun watching everybody beat the crap out of them every night.
I think they want to be bad though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they want to be bad, get their picks. They're going to trade Griffin at some point. I would guess.
They'll probably trade Rose. He's looked good. They'll get something for him, and they want to get the number 1 pick or top 3 pick and start rebuilding, which is smart.
Who's the top center in the draft? Because they're going to take him.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked that
Musa
far
Cisse. No.
He will be at Memphis next year.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right about that. So we were mentioning our NBA playoff teams, and we'll just run through these real quick. And if you got any quick thing to say about disagreeing with my order, just tell me. So starting in the East, mine were Milwaukee number 1, Miami 2nd, Brooklyn 3rd, which I may feel differently about that after tonight. They beat the piss out of the Warriors. The Pacers 4th, Celtics 5th, followed by Philly in the 6th seed, Toronto 7th, Washington 8th, with Orlando and Atlanta in the play-in game. Any thoughts on those? Any you're vehemently against?
We pretty much got the same thing. We're both not very high on Toronto, even though I think they're going to make the playoffs. I do think they take a step back and flip-flop Brooklyn, Miami. Who knows? I mean, Brooklyn looked great tonight. You go back to the Miami super team. When they joined together, they struggled in the playoffs a little bit. Golden State, when they got Kevin Durant, struggled a little bit to start. So maybe they have a little bit of struggle, but I think Brooklyn's going to be awesome. And I'm glad I put them second in the East after watching what they did tonight, because we did do the playoff teams before the game started.
That's important to note. And I've been watching it tonight. Durant looks super healthy, and their bench with bringing LeVert off the bench and Jarrett Allen and
LeVert in the bubble was like one of the top 10 players in the bubble. I mean, he was unbelievable. And he's your bench scorer, and Dinwiddie's really good. Until they put Jordan on the bench and start Jarrett Allen, that's when I think they'll take off, because I think DeAndre Jordan is not a very good basketball player.
You know what, though? I wonder, do they bring Jarrett Allen off the bench because he's used to playing with guys like LeVert and Dinwiddie and Prince? That's basically their starting lineup from last year. That's now their bench unit. I think
Tony Allen said TFN, tall for nothing. That's basically what DeAndre Jordan's become. About right. He can't jump anymore. Like, he's just there.
All right, you want to go with your West teams?
Yeah. So in the West, got the Lakers, Clippers, Jazz in 3. We talked about that earlier. Nuggets 4, Blazers 5, Mavs 6, Suns 7, Warriors 8, and then New Orleans and Houston with the new play-in games. The Lakers, Clippers are the 2 best teams in the West. Now, whether they finish 1-2, it depends on how much LeBron plays. I think with the season starting so close to the bubble ending or the championship ending in October, he could take some games off. But those are the 2 best teams. I think they'll be in the Western Conference Finals. I think the Clippers got hit in the mouth last year, and they're going to bounce back. The only thing we really have totally different, and correct me if I'm wrong, is really New Orleans and the Warriors. I got a little bit lower than you have them. But New Orleans, I think Zion's awesome. I wish we could have got him. I love Ja.
Yeah.
But Zion's a beast. And if he's
He's
healthy,
another level.
it's insane. His efficiency is just crazy.
So I went back and forth. I had Houston in the play-in game with Memphis, and I changed it a couple hours ago, and I changed it to New Orleans. So the team that I have left out of the playoffs from yours is Houston, and I think this is purely on they're going to trade Harden, and when they trade Harden, that's not a good team.
The only thing though is
Wall and Cousins could be good together. I mean,
the rumor
Christian
of
Wood.
Harden going to Philly and then bringing in Ben Simmons. If Houston gets Ben Simmons, they're still right there on the edge. Ben Simmons is awesome, and he's not used correctly in Philly with Embiid. I think he could be really good in Houston if they make that.
He could be. I'm not. I just think that it depends on what kind of deal they get. And I feel like when everybody knows they're trying to deal, you don't ever get what you want, and then those pieces have to gel. You know, and I think, like you said earlier, the West is really stacked, and it's just going to be hard to learn on the fly. I know I love John Wall, but you just don't know, and I'd bet on Ja being better than him at this point, and he's and the Grizzlies being better than them. It wouldn't shock me if they were seventh, and without Harden.
Well, I think if they start off the year strong, and hey, Harden's in the game, he's coming and he's around the team, and they're playing well. Maybe they're around third, fourth, fifth in the West. Maybe they don't trade him and they just roll with it. And everything kind of eases out. I think he's going to eventually be gone. He could be gone by next week. You don't know. But if he's happy and playing well, then they're probably a top 5 or 6 seed.
Then I'm totally wrong about this pick.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just
depends
hinges
on how
on Harden getting traded and what the return is.
And right now it looks like he's going to get traded.
Yeah, that's what I would lean more towards that. The only other one I was different from you on was the Warriors, and a lot of that is it's due to the Steph factor, which he did not look his best self tonight, and then Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was coaching his tail off last year, in a rebuilding year with all of his guys. If what they have now, I know Clay's not playing, but if the rest of the guys are healthy,
Oubre's still good. Wiggins is still good.
Yeah, and
Pascal's a good player. Draymond wasn't there tonight, and that is their heart and soul of the team. I mean, they're not bad.
No,
but
they may not be as good as the 4th seed where I have them, but I still have faith in them, and I feel like I'm looking at a bounce back from them. And I feel like they've kind of been the forgotten team. It also wouldn't surprise me if they're 7th. Like I feel like once you get past 1 and 2 in the West, then 3 through 10 is a toss up. I mean, I think the Nuggets and the Jazz will be at the top of that, 3 through 10 group. The Warriors, Mavs, whatever. But it's like the Suns could finish 3rd. They could finish 10th.
Like I said, there's going to be a lot of teams between that, like 35 and 42 or 37 and 42 wins. It's going to be like the West has been the past few years. There's going to be a lot of teams that are within a half or a game of being in or out of the playoffs.
Yep. So that's our playoff stuff. Who's your MVP?
My MVP is Luka. I think the Giannis factor, they're going to be tired of Giannis. He's not going to get a 3rd in a row. LeBron should win it every year. LeBron's the best player in the NBA.
Absolutely right.
Yeah,
he should have 13 MVPs right now.
Yeah, but Luka's the new guy on the block. He's fun to watch. Porzingis is going to be out a little bit. They're still going to be good. He's going to keep them in every game, and he's probably going to average close to a triple-double. And he's going to win. I think that one's unless he gets hurt or something, I think that one's a pretty easy pick just because it's going to be the fun, popular pick this year.
Yep. I'm with you on that. A lot of the same reasoning. But I would campaign that they would just instead of getting mad every year that they don't give LeBron the MVP, I think they should just name the award the LeBron James MVP trophy. That way, whoever gets it just knows they're handling the King's trophy.
Hey, Giannis said it earlier, like a month ago. He said, "Until I'm the best player in the world, I'll tell you when I'm the best player in the world. But until then, LeBron's still the best player in the world."
Yeah,
and that's your
he's
MVP
right.
talking.
He is
Yeah,
right. I mean, he's the best player. He's the most valuable player. If you if you want to play the way I always like to do it, is you take that guy off that team. What is that team? Lakers don't make the playoffs. Like
we saw what
you
Anthony
saw it.
Davis did as the best player in New
Yes,
Orleans.
and it was like no, he was not good.
Although
Like
they
he
didn't build around him very well,
no,
but he's still not.
but an 8 seed. Like the rest of the
LeBron's
team
different.
looks like his old Pelicans
Yeah,
teams. And no, I'm not.
yeah.
No, LeBron is the man. We've said it for years, and I think you and I are both LeBron fans in a Jordan world. Um, I love Jordan too, but we've said it for years. He took
He was great in
LeBron.
Space Jam. This is all I remember him
It's true.
from.
You're a little young for that, but Last Dance
Unfortunately,
was good. Um,
or look great
the
in a Washington Wizards jersey.
yeah, yes, exactly. Le, LeBron, I think people get I don't know like burn out with him, but he's
Yeah.
awesome. Like he's unbelievably awesome, and I think people
Well,
are
I think most people would get
bored
tired
to
of
his
him because of the
greatness.
social stuff
Sure.
and can't just focus on how he is on the floor.
Yep. Yeah, and I think
So,
people have become immune to his greatness though. Like we kind of almost take it for granted. Um, who's your most improved?
so my most improved, you kind of stole my thunder on the job because I think he could win that. But I went with Christian Wood. The only reason I went with Christian Wood is if Harden's going to be there for the first half of the year or whatever till the trade deadline, he's going to get a lot of open threes. He can
Yeah.
stretch the floor. It kind of be the first. They're not playing PJ Tucker at the 5 anymore. He'll get rebounds. He'll shoot threes. Um, I think he's a good player. So I went with him just because he's going to get a lot of open shots.
Yeah, I like it too. And I feel like if Harden stays there, playing with Harden, building up he's going to build up his stat
I
sheet.
didn't mean to throw your pick out there, but
It's going to look pretty good. My pick, as you said, it was Ja. His I'm pretty sure I saw his most improved player odds a little while back, and it was like plus 2,500. I think
yeah, I
it's
think
come
I
up.
looked earlier today too. I think it was like 2,200 or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500, and I feel like I don't know that I think he's going to win. It might go to a third year guy like Shea Gilgeous or something like that. It might
That's the
go to
only thing I
somebody
was
like
thinking too.
Jamal Murray if he goes towards the bubble. I don't know it, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if he comes out and averages 25 points a game and 7, 8 assists and has a billion highlight jams and actually dunks on Kevin Love this time. Um,
So
you
he's still
know,
plus 2,400 on FanDuel right now. So
that's bananas, man. I might what I might do is throw a few out here on. I mean, I really Jaw's my favorite, but I'm obviously biased in that pick. But I like Shea Gilgeous. I think the eight is the favorite
I was
right
gonna,
now.
yeah, the other one. Well, Christian Wood's the favorite on FanDuel right now, but my other
Okay,
pick was gonna be DeAndre Ayton because Chris Paul will get him the ball, and
yeah,
he'll have a lot of easy touches on pick and roll. He'll have a lot of one-on-one opportunities. Not many people coming down to him. He could get a lot of assists out of the post.
yep,
He's a true post player that can still play in today's game because he
yep.
can face up.
I like him.
He's good. Like
I didn't know
everybody
who he
talks about, he's a
was until
bust.
last year. He's good.
Everybody thought he was a bust,
I mean
and
Christian Wood.
but he was at. Oh yeah, Chris Wood. Yeah, I played with
Yeah,
him on 2K. He's my center on 2K. So kick to the
I like
corner.
Aiton. I like the Aiton idea too. I mean, it might be smart to just throw a few things out there. Pick your top three and go for it. I'm gonna roll with Morant because it'd be fun to root for. Um, Most improved's a tough one to pick too because I remember one year like Isaac Austin won it.
It could be
Like
somebody out of nowhere. I
yeah,
mean, you could have a
totally.
fourth or fifth year player that hasn't really done much, and they come out and score 20 points a game on a decent team, average team, and wins it.
Yep.
So
And in rookie of the year, you and I were talking about before we got on. I think we both really like the same one, but we ended up
yep,
going just being different. So this might be like, hey, your number one pick is the one that I like, and then your backup pick is the one that you like. Um,
yep.
I like LaMelo Ball. I think that Charlotte is not really a good team, and I think good. That's a good environment for building stats. Remember a few
Yeah.
years ago when Michael Carter Williams won it. We know now that Michael Carter Williams is not a great NBA player, but you can put up a lot of empty stats in a great season, and this ends up being more of a stat award than anything else.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stuff the stat sheet because he's going to be handed the keys from day one, and he seems competent enough to actually play right now and probably be the best player on the team, if not one of the 2 or 3 best on that team.
Yeah.
He's going to put up a lot of numbers, I think, and that's going to win him the award, I think.
So
But who was your
I
second
think
pick?
so. I like LaMelo Ball. Just quick, I listened to Bill Simmons, Vernon, and Kevin O'Connor. That was their pick. They were like, "Look, he's going to get a lot of touches. He's going to be the ball handler. He's behind Graham and Rozier, but he'll be the starter
Oh,
within
yeah.
a month or two." But my second pick was Obi Toppin. One, I think he's an old rookie. He's going to get a lot of opportunity with New York, and he's in New York. He's
Yeah, that helps.
the media,
That helps.
the hype. If he's good, if he's averaging, even if he averages 16 points a game and 8 rebounds, the hype around him in New York media, he'll win I think he can win Rookie of the Year just because of that. And
Yep.
so he's got good odds, and that was really my pick. If we're just going to go on hoping to win a bet, that's kind of the reason I went with him number 2.
He might be your best bet. I was gonna look at the odds on that one real quick, if I could find it.
So Rookie of the Year, Wiseman was 3rd in odds, but after tonight's game is plus 480. He is now the favorite to win Rookie of the Year on FanDuel. Well tied with LaMelo Ball. He looked good. Wiseman looked really good
He
in
did.
trash time, but he has a jumper. He hit a 3. He hit a step back 3. He looked good.
He did look good. He looked way better than that game of 2K we played over Thanksgiving break, because he looked like he was moving with
That's
like
just
a
'cause you're the
piano on his
Warriors.
back. It's true, but it looked like the piano on his back was also carrying a piano on its back. He's slow. I mean, on that game, but it's funny how 2K can kind of skew your real life views. I noticed him tonight, and that's something when you're playing on the same floor as Kyrie and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and a lot of other dudes who are awesome.
Hey, in your first game in your NBA career, first game in over a year, you got to get switched onto a pick and roll and guard Kevin Durant.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, not really fair.
Yeah,
he's the same height as you.
I like
insane.
it. I like the Rookie of the Year stuff. I would go LaMelo Ball, but I mean, if Wiseman's being used that way, and especially tonight where he's playing limited minutes, he might run away with it. Who knows?
And if they're not going to be good, like if they play like this, which I don't think they will, Draymond wasn't there. But if they're not going to be good and he's getting a lot of touches and they're going to use him, because I think if they're in close games, they're going to go to Looney. I think they're going to take him out because pick and roll, he's going to get abused. He'll get abused on pick and rolls. But if they're in trash games where he's going to get a lot of touches, then he's going to put up stats. Yeah. And so there's an opportunity. Golden State's it's a huge brand. Again, media, there's a chance he could get it.
It matters.
A big chance. I'd say there's a chance. Matters. Like he's the favorite.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the NBA stuff. You got any NFL games you're looking forward to? I saw you put a couple on the notes.
Yeah, there's a couple. I'll be quick because I don't love anything yet. I haven't dove too deep. I caught my Dolphins -2.5 over the Raiders. Raiders are 1-4 the last 5. They're out of the playoffs. I think they're going for draft position. They're not a good football team. You watch them; they're in your division.
Yeah, they're not good. The Chiefs play terrible against them, but they are not good.
That is the only Chiefs loss.
It's true. They play terrible. In fact, that's the only Chiefs game I've missed since Mahomes became the starter.
Hey, well, maybe you should miss a couple more games. I'm tired of hearing about Mahomes.
Man. Too bad.
Not from you, just everybody. I wish I had him.
Everybody else is quarterback envy.
Yeah. My other one, the Bills.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, my quarterback's on the at home recovering because
that's true. I miss watching him, man.
I do too. But my other one's Bills -7 Patriots. Patriots, I think, they're obviously out of the playoffs. They're eliminated. Draft position, they don't care. Cam Newton is a bad quarterback. The Bills are really good. You're a Chiefs fan. They're going to give you all a game. I think that's going to be the AFC Championship. That's going to be fun because those are two really good offenses. But
they're rolling, man.
Unless, you never know about the NFL. It's so hard to bet. But I think they beat the Patriots by 10, maybe 2 touchdowns.
I wonder if Stidham plays, if that changes the line. I don't know if he's going to start or if they're going to stay with Newton. It makes sense to me that they would roll Stidham out there and start him for a couple games just to see.
Like, is he? Got.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be the starter next year, but you want to know is he a guy I want to keep around as a backup? Give him an audition, for the other teams. I don't know. I think the book's out on Cam Newton at this point. I mean, I don't know how to take down. I do like the Bills -7 in that game. My two, I think Carolina was +2.5 to
Yeah.
the Washington football team last time I looked today, at the time of me typing this up. And I just, if Dwayne Haskins is starting in that game,
Yeah.
I, I just don't see how Washington's going to score. And I feel like Carolina's got a pretty solid offense. Um, and they're still playing hard. And I think that they're gonna I think they're gonna win that game. I would take Carolina on the money line. I think it's always smart to take the points. Take the
They're
points.
still +2.5.
Yeah, I'll take those 2.5 points and run with it. I may sprinkle a little on the money line. I really like that's probably my favorite game of the week. And then the Cardinals opened at -3 against San Francisco, and that's gone all the way to -5. And it can go to -8 and 7, 9. I would take
Yeah.
it. I don't care. Nick Mullins is not
Yeah,
good,
the
and
49ers aren't good. They're not good.
everybody talks about the defense. They just gave up 40 plus to Dallas. No offense, but
Hey, that's because Tony Pollard's in the backfield. That got
that's
Zeke's
true.
fat ass out of the game.
It makes a difference. Uh, Memphis RBU represent.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just it's
And
I've
don't
lost a
sleep
little
on
bit
the
of
Red
money.
Rocket. Come on.
It's true. Um, ugh, I just picturing dogs. That's not a good image.
Oh man. The
I'm
slinging ginger.
yeah. Oh my gosh, man. Let's let that one go. I've lost quite a bit of money this year betting on the Cardinals. When had lost like 5 consecutive games against the spread. I think I finally took them. I bet against them in the game they finally won, which was the Giants. I bet on the Giants and they won. So it's like they're either costing me money
Yeah, I
or
quit betting on them in like week 5 because every
yeah,
time I bet on them they lost.
I bet on them they lost. I bet against them they win. So this week
Yep.
I'm going to bet against them. So everybody else should pick the Niners
Yep.
and the points, and maybe take them on the money line. Whatever you have to do, tease it in the opposite direction. Uh, you know,
Yeah. No, don't do
um,
that.
no, don't do that. That's a mistake. I really do like Arizona in this spot, though. I think they're going to be pretty solid. Last thing I wanted to mention was the bowl games. And before we mention some of the bowl games, I wanted to tell you, Anna and I have always done this like a bowl pick'em thing.
Yeah.
And this year we had Avery do it too. So far, Avery is 2-1 in our bowl picks, and Anna's 1-2.
All right,
I'm
so I'll be
I'm
picking.
3-0. So what Avery says, but if we always like winner gets to pick the restaurant or something like that, but this year we did loser bets. So if Anna loses, then Avery gets to draw a mustache on her. If Avery
Ooh.
loses, she has to wear daddy's clothes for an hour, which are going to be pretty great on her for a 4-year-old with that kind of stuff. You know how big I am. And then if I lose, Avery gets to put makeup on my face. So that could be a fun little episode with whatever the loser bets are. I
Well,
asked
we'll
Avery
need
what she was
pictures.
thinking. Yeah, right.
We'll need pictures.
I asked Avery what she was thinking on the pick, and she was like, "Because you said that one last," and she picked Missouri. She's like, "Because I've been to Missouri. We were just in Missouri a couple days ago." She's her reasoning it's pretty good.
Hey, there you go.
That works.
Now, I'll be honest. I didn't even know bowl started until you
Yeah.
said something today. My interest in college football is about here right now. Um, Alabama's the best team, and we'll talk about all that some other time. I don't know if you want
I
to go through your
agree.
bowls, but Florida Oklahoma was the one. I don't know what day we'll record another episode, but Florida Oklahoma obviously is a good game. That I think that happens on the 30th. Um, Florida Dan Mullen the day got a show calls, so that's interesting.
Wow.
Which is I hadn't looked too deep into it, but I mean that's big.
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma's that good. I think Florida will probably kill them, but I mean it's a big game. It's the biggest game other than the New Year's Six bowls. And then
Yep.
Memphis. I think Memphis will probably kill FAU. I mean, FAU's not good. Memphis isn't very good either, but we got talent at least. So
Liberty Coast is going to be fun. I didn't put that. You put that
yeah,
one on there, and I was like, that's going to be a fun one out of the non-New Year's Six. Like that. That feels like a New Year's Six bowl. It's not a New Year's Six bowl. It feels
yeah,
pretty
Liberty
big.
Coastal. I did put that one on there. They didn't get to play earlier in the year because of COVID. I like Coastal. I love their field. The mullets. They do all this wrestling stuff
Surf
in
turf.
the locker room. So it's I think they win, but I wonder if Hugh freezes out the door.
I don't know.
And
It's
Liberty
tough.
lays an egg. I don't know. So, but that's gonna be a fun game. I mean,
Yeah.
we're fans of a group of 5 teams or
Yes.
team with the Tigers. So it's fun to see these teams playing in big bowl games or at least big matchups. So it'll be fun.
I liked Oklahoma State and Miami mostly because I thought that was when I was scrolling through the names of the bowls. Those were the first ones where I felt like I knew players on both teams.
Yeah.
Like the brands you recognize. I think that could end up being a fun game. I like watching Derek King play football. And the one I'm probably most excited about is Ole Miss and Indiana. And I know it's weird, but because Indiana's intriguing, man. I know that Penix is out, and
I was gonna say if Penix was in, that would be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. But it's like I think Ole Miss is a rising star in the SEC. I don't think they're going to be like the best team in the SEC next year, but they're at least going to be fun to watch. They might be a good third or fourth place team in that West Division, but they're at least
They're
fun
gonna
to
upset
watch.
people every year.
Yeah, Lane's got to be entertaining. I mean, I'm
The
going to tune
Lane
in.
train.
Yeah, maybe he'll throw another clipboard 50 feet in the air. That would be awesome.
I mean, he's right on the sideline, like throwing his hands up while before pass is even thrown. He's so much fun to watch.
He's one of those dudes. Like I know everybody in Memphis doesn't like John Calipari, but I dig the personality. I've always
If
liked
he's
the
your
personality.
coach, you love him.
Oh man, like you couldn't. Memphis fans are always telling me like that. I mean, like John Calipari is a scumbag, whatever. I was like, I don't disagree with that, like even a little bit, but I remember like the '08 year and the years preceding that when and after when I was in college, just how awesome and engaging he was, and
Well,
get to
you
go
got to
swimming at
meet
his
him.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to meet him. I got a picture of him. You got to shake his hand. I got to go to his camp and meet him. And if you're in his presence, he makes you feel like you're the most important person around.
Yeah.
And he's a cool dude. And I hate Calipari because of the way he left Memphis.
Yeah.
But he's an awesome coach. But he's got the personality. And Lane, I don't know. It's fun. Ole Miss is fun, like you're saying.
He's kind of got that same vibe though, and but so does the Indiana coach, Tom
Yeah.
Allen. He's got I don't know if you've heard any locker room speeches in there, but like I listen to
They
it.
love him.
He makes me want to get off the couch, which is tough when I'm on.
His
winter
players
break.
love him.
Man, I think that's going to be an interesting game. I don't know. I was kind of not looking at the spreads, trying to pick out which ones I like, just of looking at it. But I don't know what the number is. I imagine Indiana's probably favored, but
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up quick.
I'm kind of like I just think that's an intriguing matchup. This one I want to pay attention to. Let's take a look.
I was gonna try to pull up the game. I was looking for it here, but I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Ole Miss plus 6.5. So Indiana minus 6.5 on that. I'd stay away because
yeah, I would too.
I think
if
Penix was playing, they'd probably beat him by 2 or 3 touchdowns. But the over, I think, is like 66.5. So probably going to take the over on that if I would do anything.
Yeah, I don't.
Ole Miss can't stop anybody.
It's true.
And they can.
I'm just going to watch it and have fun, and I'll probably get some live action on it. Just because I'm a degenerate. But that's not it.
Well, now that it's easy and legal.
Right. Oh man, I love that. I was telling somebody in this fantasy baseball draft that we're doing. Yes, I'm doing a fantasy baseball draft in December.
Have they even gone through winter meetings and stuff yet?
No, this is actually like a replacement draft. We had a bunch of people lose.
I gotcha.
I kicked some people out and had some people decide they couldn't afford the money to play. So we're dispersing all the teams that were there so they don't have to just inherit like the same team that was abandoned. And I was just telling a guy, like, he's like, man, it sucks. I can't even pay. I can't pay for fantasy sports here in my state. I think he's in Washington. I can't remember what state he said. Oregon, I believe. And he can't do NFBC or something like that. It may not be Oregon. Northwest. But I was like, man, it's so nice just being able to push a button and them having to take my money, and just
I don't have to drive a casino or get on a offshore betting site.
I don't have to do any of that. I just deposit. Yes, please. Let's go. give me Kansas on the money line. Let's roll. Rock, chalk,
cool. Well,
I'm gonna get
we both took
saying that.
We both took the Charles Barkley super boost today. LeBron's got 11 at half, so we need 12 points second
Oh
half.
man, it's a
And
close
we'll
game. He'll take more shots in the second half, I think.
yeah, so we'll get to watch the second half. But this was fun.
Yeah, man, this was
We've
awesome.
been waiting to do it.
Yeah, a long time, and it took us a while to get to the episode too. We said 30 minutes, and I'm pretty sure we're going like 55. We'll
Like,
see when we're done.
whatever.
But this was fun,
Whatever.
and I hope we can do it again real soon.
So this is going to be our first YouTube video. So we'll set up the account. We'll have all that on there. But our Twitter account, we set it up backyard_blue. If anybody wants to look on there or subscribe or like or whatever, we're doing this for fun. If people dig it, cool. If not, we get to talk sports, which we've done since I was like 8 years old when I was old enough to talk about sports. So we'll talk about wrestling. I see an AEW commercial on right now. I'll watch AEW tomorrow night and probably have some thoughts next time we get on. So I don't know. This is cool. It's a good time.
Yeah, and
I have a better background too when I don't have a ton of people in my house.
It's true. I like the dining room, man. It's a good backdrop. You know, I was this is we've been wanting to do this for a long time. Glad we're finally able to do it. If you guys want to talk sports with us, just hit us up on that Twitter feed at backyard_blue, and then like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We enjoyed this.
We'll probably live tweet some Grizzlies games and stuff too. Like get on there and throw some tweets out. So
as long as Sinclair gets their act together and we can watch them, that'd be
I'm
awesome.
probably getting AT&T now, probably tomorrow if I had to guess.
I understand. It happens. Cool. Can't miss them. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank y'all.
See you next time.